We always have cats on the show at home. So now we got one here, just a pseudo cat. And welcome back. This is episode number 28 of Man Sharpens Man. And just as promised, I have a special guest, Dave Graves.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, it's like you almost have an audience, isn't it?
Almost.
I can't believe I'm the number 28. I almost was telling him this right before. That's how I feel when I started the show. I think it's what helped me do comedy better. Like, I started comedy and I was doing okay.
Yeah.
And I think I do okay because of this show. Because when I talk, I feel like people are kind of listening to me like I might be on the radio.
No, I think that's actually, I think that is a good testament to you and how you are as a comedian. I believe, yeah, that's very spot on.
Yep, and that's why I tell Charlie, I'm like, you got to start doing this shit with me, man. I've done 28 episodes now, 28. I've used up all of my, did you know that SoundCloud is a fucking jip?
How? Tell me about it. I'm not
You only
sure.
get 3 free hours.
Really?
Yeah, they trick you, and they make you think it's totally free. They never say they're going to charge you. They don't even ask for a credit card. They just let you use it for free.
Huh.
And after 3 hours of downloading shit, you're done.
You're done?
Done.
So what are you doing now?
Just YouTube for now, but I can put this on iTunes. I just have to do a little bit more research. I'm computer retarded because I was away from them for so long, as you can imagine.
But I mean, the setup's pretty nice, so you're catching up pretty quick.
Catching up. My daughter bought me this hookup for Christmas. She bought me the podcast in a box.
Awesome, I like it.
And then I went and bought this. This is my first ever fucking laptop. I always wanted a laptop, never had one.
Nice.
Finally got. I mean, I didn't really want one. Once I got out of prison, I didn't go to the computer because to me, the computer, I looked at it and it was porn, dating.
Yeah.
Which I had Chris. Like, I met Chris. You know my wife, Chris.
Yeah.
I met her. I got out August 20. I got out 28th of April, and I met her August 6th.
Oh.
So April, May, June, July, August.
Done.
Yeah, I had 5 months of whoring, and then I met my wife, and it was over. So.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and so I've been with her since. So.
Oh, congratulations. That's awesome.
So as you can see, I wasn't in a hurry to get on the computer because I already got a chick, so I don't want to date.
Yep, you didn't need the porn necessarily.
The porn, yeah, you know, you kind of want it still, but the wife catching you isn't fun. So,
Nope.
you know, I didn't want to have to hide addresses, so I kept it simple. They still made paper. I had been using it in prison. I was used to a staple in the middle of some pussy. That's the joke. That's
a good one.
I went to prison when I was 17. People always used to tease me in there. They'd be like, "Motherfucker, you ain't ever had no pussy that ain't had a staple in it." Like, that's how they talk in there, you know. That's how they would. As you can tell, I would get it rough when I was a kid.
I can imagine.
It was lucky though because I was young, but I fit in good in prison because people liked me. So I would go and I would find cliques of people that probably would have killed me had I been me now.
Right.
It would have sucked.
Yeah.
But being a kid, they almost had like this camaraderie for you. The pedophiles was kind of scary, but other than that.
Do you think being so young though, they kind of saw you and they wanted to like take care of you, put them under your wing?
Hell yeah, there was definitely wingage. Is that how it is in the military?
Kind of a bit. I was 22 when I enlisted.
I should tell people about you.
Okay.
Dave is a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
He works at the meat shop.
Mm-hmm.
Jack of many trades. He's a producer. He's got Falling Downstairs Productions. You probably got a few other things, pokers in the fire, don't you?
Yeah, it's good to stay busy.
Oh, going to school?
Going to school, yeah.
To build bombs or something for Al Qaeda, it looked like. I don't even know what that shit is you're building.
I'm currently in the middle of building a little rover, and so the pictures I put up was the power supply for the little rover.
Oh, it's going to be like a remote control car, basically?
Basically, yeah.
No shit. My last jokes I made the other night were about the Mars rover.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, because I said when you get the winter time, you put on so many coats you can't see your dick. I said it's like running the Mars rover down there. Because you got to do it in the blind. You can't see nothing.
That's pretty great.
I'm a huge fan. You wouldn't know this about me. I watch a lot of Robot Wars now that it's back on TV. Did you know it's back on TV?
I did not know it's back on TV.
Oh, you're about to dork out on Science Channel.
Yeah, how long has it been back on TV?
One season just started, but it's deep already.
Is it?
Oh yeah, they really put it down. Like, it's not the one that used to be on PBS. You remember the old Robot Wars where it was like, oh my god.
Well, it's so easy to build these things nowadays. Like, I think the kit that I am using for school, if you were going to go out today and buy the parts, I think it might only cost you like $250.
No shit.
Yeah, and then from there, with some imagination, you can add all whatever kind of hoodads and what sits to it, and there you go.
Make it so it's a killer.
Basically.
They have a cool ring. It's like a big, giant octagon type ring. It's
cool.
in plexiglass, and they make some robots that go in there and chop. And you're allowed to have like a little partner robot, so they'll have like a big robot, and they'll have like a little one flying around like a drone with a flame, and like they've upped the level of Robot Wars.
Oh, goodness gracious.
They got 2 retired MMA fighters to announce it. and they have like a bad guy, like
Yeah.
the dude that's like the fucking coldest and has like the smashingest
Yeah,
robot.
yeah.
So it's pretty interesting. It's a fun thing to watch.
All right. Maybe I'll have to look that up when I get home tonight.
Science Channel.
Science Channel.
You'll probably, because a lot of, see, I got cable. I'm
Yeah.
still old school. I do the cable thing, so I tell people, and they're like, is it going to be on Netflix? I'm like, I don't know the math.
Yeah,
You're
no.
going to need a chart soon. You're going to need a chart for TV where it's like, it's on this, but it's not on that, and
this.
it's not on that.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have like an all-encompassing TV guide, so you could find a show, and then it would tell you everything else that it's on.
Tell me honestly, Dave, is there a little piece of you that kind of feels bad for like today's youth with the way, like me and you, how old are you?
33.
33, so you're right behind me. So me and you, we grew up in a time where media was way more limited.
Yeah.
We only had a certain amount. So if I say a movie reference or a TV reference from the time that you were like 15 to you, you're going to get it.
Exactly.
But in the future from now, 15-year-olds that are 15-year-olds today will be like, man, did you see King Kong? And they'll be like, no, I was watching Teletubbies or whatever. I mean, there's so many sources of media that I don't think that they're going to sync up. They're not going to have that reference base.
Yeah. I was talking to a buddy a month or so ago, and he was telling me about this show that he's telling me the plot, and he's recommending the name, and it just sounds awesome. I'm like, where do you view it on? And he said, Crackle. And I'm like, what the hell is Crackle? And so
you smoke crack while you watch it. That's why it's so interesting. I just like to crackle while I watch the show.
But yeah, I mean, it's just there's so many options now. It's almost it's overwhelming, but in turn though, there's a lot of really good stuff to watch nowadays though.
The thing that I like about it is this kind of thing right here. It gives a small little peon like me a chance to even get my shit out there, because if I went to a radio station, they'd laugh at me. They wouldn't even want me as their janitor with my felony record. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I mean, and that's the other turn is with stuff like podcast, YouTube. It allows you to show your creative voice and everything out there in the world, and that's so cool.
Heck yeah, it is, and it's brought back a lot of stuff. A lot of things are coming back, like the comedy. I didn't even know it had came back when I joined you guys. See, like my listeners kind of know, but I joined you guys like about 7-8 months ago now, doing comedy with you. And like when I first heard about you through Dave Basie, like I didn't even know that there was comedy. Like I didn't know they were doing that shit around. Like I had no clue that it was going on.
Yeah.
And it's not because you guys don't promote it. I just don't go out. So
right.
I didn't know what was going on, and I assumed it was dead. They had closed the comedy club locally, but from what I'm hearing, the vibes in the wind that I hear when I listen to comedy podcasts and stuff is like live comedy's making a comeback big time.
It's definitely swinging, and a lot of the shows like we do up here, where it's not necessarily like a committed club, but bars or other establishments that will have shows, those have had the highest upswing.
Yeah.
Just because it's more of an event, like
it's got to up the till for the night. I got to imagine that it's got to be akin to a rock band showing up or something.
I would assume so. Yeah, I mean, you get
at some places.
At some places, yeah. At other places, it doesn't necessarily do as well. But people are more excited because it's an event. People are more excited because especially in this day and age, everybody needs to laugh. Mm-hmm. So you add all these things together, and then you're just gonna have a great evening.
And I think a lot of people like personalized shit right now. They like their craft beer, their homemade, their own special thing. So they're not looking. When the internet first came out, I think that might have been what killed comedy, is like the internet, because the internet came out and was just, you could just go on there and look up stupid cats falling off roofs and shit or whatever you want to do. Some guy shooting himself in the balls with a gun. Have you seen that video?
I have seen that video.
That's fucking crazy,
that
isn't
crazy.
it? I don't want to turn into Tosh.0 all of a sudden on my podcast here, but I cannot believe somebody like the internet pushes people to do crazy shit.
Well, as much as I 100% agree that the internet hurt comedy, but in turn it flourished it.
Now it turned it around. That's what I was going to say. A yin-yang on it, too. I totally agree.
Paul Burnham would not be where he is without the internet. The Whitest Kids You Know, before YouTube was really a thing, this was a sketch comedy group, started putting their stuff out on just their website. This was before YouTube, and then eventually onto YouTube, and then IFC found them and gave them a show. And from there, it just spawned onto this really weird thing. And so you have all these,
like the Trailer Park Boys. Is
the Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
And so you have all these great comedy things, and it's good because it's good to see these people working hard. but I hate it because you can get just an image of something stupid with 5 words on it, and people are like, "This is the new comedy," and you're just, what?
Like that dumb bitch off Dr. Phil. She's been
Oh,
killing me. Come
yes.
at me, meet me outside, chick. Oh, that kind of crap.
She just released a rap song, and it's already on the Billboard charts.
I know. I seen the little piece of the rap song on Instagram. And someone wrote it for her. You can definitely tell that it's written for her.
Yeah.
That was one thing that really fucked me up in comedy is when I found out that happens. Like, I don't have any non-respect for a comic that does that. When I found out that people, like, buy other people's jokes and shit in comedy, I thought that was crazy. Like, I'm good at telling a joke that somebody's told me. Like, I do a segment on this called Old Joke once in a while. I forget to do it once in a while. But I like to tell an old joke. I'm good at telling an old joke. I couldn't buy someone's joke and stand on stage and try to pawn that shit off as some like shit that happened to me, you know?
I think it's I agree, and I think that's awful. I mean, it really is awful. But in the same thing, like.
But if you're having to go up all the time, it would draw too much out of you. You wouldn't be able to perform.
When every year you're performing, say 200 nights of the year, and you're trying to constantly get like an hour and a half down, eventually you're gonna.
Yeah, you would have to.
Your only experiences are going up on stage, and that's not relatable to a lot of people.
Yeah, because once it starts doing that, that's one thing I have that I'd like that I have right now for comedy, and I hope I keep it, but it's going to be hard to keep it. You hit the nail right on the head, is right now I have a whole life of experience coming into comedy. Now I really want to throw my hat into comedy and start doing it. It'll be what I'm doing. I can't make jokes about making jokes. People don't want to hear that shit.
They don't. They really don't.
Because it is like sitting around making jokes. It can be fun.
Right.
And, like, this is one of the reasons I like the podcast, because this is a way to make making jokes fun.
Exactly.
Because we can sit around and all of a sudden you'll just blurt some shit out that's funny. It'll be down. It's in history, and you'll remember it. Mm-hmm. You'll be able to jot it down. Where if you're just sitting around trying to write with a candle burning and the shit, you know, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
That's true. Yeah, I definitely, when I'm with a candle in my bathtub trying to write, it doesn't really work out so well. No.
But when you're just kicking it like this, you come out with a lot of stuff. But if you're with your friends doing it,
mm-hmm.
You're not going to take the time to look all pompous and flip out your little book. And hold on, friends. That little joke I just told you is quite a gem. Can you imagine? Let me put this in the little thing here.
The problem is I used to do that. My first year, like I carried a notebook with me.
This notebook right here, this yellow one that you see me, that's what I was doing. But my first months, I carried it with me, and when I'd be hanging out, I did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would try to sneak and do it. I was trying to do it on my phone and stuff. Like I did it too, you know.
Oh yeah.
That's why I'm even making jokes about it. But you know, I know how it made me feel. Where I'm like, these motherfuckers are looking at me like, what could he be writing down?
Yeah, he's not that funny.
What's he got? That shit didn't kill real bad just now. I mean, maybe he had another thing, but
a lot of pity laughs going
on. That's like, Will Haven. I'm gonna have him on the show too, because that fucker's crazy. I gotta have him on the show, but he fucking kills me with some of the stuff he says, and I just have to pity laugh him once in a while because he's insane. He's insane.
Yes.
He is a fucking nut. He was in that fucking alley the other night, and he was telling us after the last Rotten Cherry show. He tells us. All the comics are standing out in the alley, and we're all cutting up, and he says, man, I just don't get it. I'm not doing very good. But my boss, he laughs at all my jokes. That's what he said. I said, Bill, man, when someone's trying to fuck you, they always laugh at all your jokes. I burned his ass. But he's a good
You should make that in a shirt.
That could be a shirt.
That would be a good shirt.
Yeah. Because girls don't get that.
No.
Girls don't get that.
Not
But,
at all.
but guys do laugh at a lot of stupid shit when they're trying to bang a chick.
Yeah.
But I'm not one of them dudes that doesn't think women can be funny. Women can be funny.
Oh, yeah.
You know, one of the problems I have with the name of my show, Dave, is it's called Man Sharpens Man. I almost want to change it, but I like it because it wasn't taken and it sounds cool, but I don't want, like, women to hear the name and get like, why the fuck isn't a woman? What's up with the woman?
I don't know. It's...
I got to make sure I get Jenny on the show soon. I got to have a woman guest.
Get a couple of the nice... there's a lot of really great local gals who are doing jokes or just who are really interesting. So I think, like... Yeah, get a couple of them on here for that would be really great.
That Marty would be a weird one to fucking interview. Me and her would go together like oil and water. Like, I don't even have to worry about her listening to this shit and being like, oh, John just talked shit about me. But she's a fucking weird chick.
Yeah, it would be like peanut butter and lighter fluid.
It would
be really weird.
She fucking told me the other night that she was almost a nun once.
I have no idea.
Isn't that weird?
That is really weird.
How do you go from almost being a nun to doing comedy in a bar and then being offended when someone says dick in front of you? Like, I don't even get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's a
I
weird
don't
thing.
either.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah, she confuses a lot of folks.
I think this show would be the only way this show would work if it was me and her was like it'd have to be a video so people could just see the shocked look on her face as I just dropped F-bomb after F-bomb and
Or you just get a third guest just running commentary through the whole thing.
Oh, you should see Marty's face now. I could not believe she used to be a nun. That does not go with comedy.
I mean, but it takes all. There's a lot of the downstate comics who come up here. They used to be lawyers and stuff, or they are still lawyers.
That's weird, huh?
And I've never met a funny lawyer, but a lot of these folks that come up, they're great comedians.
I guess it takes all kinds.
Yeah, it does. So
you run into funny people at every job.
Yeah.
Where do you work at? Max Bowers, right?
Do
you work in the front or back?
I work in the front. I'm there as a cashier while I go back to school for engineering. So
Max Bowers is our super fancy meat place around here.
Yeah,
if people
yeah.
listen and don't know, I'm sure they probably do, but I
But still,
let them a little helpful information.
Yeah.
And it shows that I'm on my game. See, in case any employers are listening or fucking sponsors, I always throw that out there. You want to sponsor me? You want to give me some free condoms to talk about your condoms? Whatever you want to give me. Give me some free booze to talk about your booze, anything. I'll take free shit as a payment or some money.
Really happy I'm not on that condom episode. I'm not ready for that, Jeff. I'm not ready for that.
I'll be bumming. I was another podcast that I started listening to early because it's weird. I'm new to podcasting too. Like my first podcast I listened to was less than a year ago. It was almost a year ago now.
Oh, wow.
Like, I didn't even know what a podcast was. It just sounded like a nerdy fucking word to deal with the internet. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just such a convict. Yeah. I came out of prison, and I'm just like, man, fuck the internet. Fuck TV. I've been sitting in a cell watching TV for 10 fucking years. So I didn't go out in public and stuff, but I didn't watch TV. Like, I'd play video games and hang out around my house and do little arts and shit. You know, I just kind of chill, basically. Yeah. You know, have some transcendentalness, a little fucking peacefulness for once. You know, you live through that shit. It's kind of crazy. But, you know, so, like, podcasts to me, like, I almost lost my point. But listening to a podcast, it sounded like a nerdy fucking thing, so I never listened to one. But now that I've listened to a few, it's a fucking really great form of fucking media. It really is.
Yeah, there's a lot of really amazing things. Anything from where it's just a conversation like what you and I are having.
It gives you a chance to, like, get in a conversation, basically, without having to, like, participate. So you can chop wood while you listen, you know?
There's one where, and there's even groups of them that do, like, the old, like, radio station dramatizations and stuff like that. Like, there's one, Welcome to the Night Vale, which is just wild.
Is it a funny one?
It's funny. It's really kind of macabre. It's dark, but has a funny tone to it. It's weird.
I heard a promo for it a while back. I did hear a promo for it.
If you like weird things, like almost kind of like a Twin Peaks or something, I think you'd get a kick out of it.
I think I would then. I like weird stuff, and I can follow it. I listen to one called Mysterious Universe. Have you ever heard that one? You would like it. It's two Australian guys, and they kick it like we're kicking it, but they do some research for every show, and they'll go get like a weird book, and like they'll do some crazy shit, like some stuff you'll never even think about. Like they did an episode about a book a girl wrote about flavor.
Oh,
and the effects it's had through history. The episode they just had that's on my brain the most is they did an episode about your last breath. Yeah, your last breath, like our last fucking breath right there. We got cut off, people. I'm going to let you know because my editing skills sucks. I'm just going to go to it because I'm going to try to clip this together and make it sound flawless, and it's still going to sound like I went from one word to another weird word. So I'm just going to say my computer crashed. We're back on now. Me and Dave are back.
And we're here.
We're here. We were talking about MU, and the guy's talking about the last breath.
Yeah,
we're gonna get. It's kind of a fucking cool thing to think your breath can be around forever. That's the one piece of you that's going to be around
forever.
It'll be part of a sun one day. It'll be part of a planet. Everything.
Wow.
Like everything came from gas and goes back to gas is basically the guy's premise.
That's kind of amazing. And that's what's going to hang around.
And then when you start thinking about this, like we were just talking about this is kind of weird, and we didn't even mean it. But during the break when my shit was updating, we were talking about Buddhism a little bit.
Yep.
What's one of the main focal points in Buddhism? Your breath.
Yeah.
And it's the thing you come back to. Like when everything's lost, when everything's fucked up, you still have your breath. You come back to it. So, like, they didn't put that in the podcast. That's not what MU is, but that's some deep shit, ain't it?
That is some deep shit, yeah.
And your breath is and I don't think Buddhists even thought of that back then because they didn't have science, but kind of blows your mind once in a while.
Wow, yeah. Whew.
It's, there's people have different religious views, but mine is, I'm always scientifically religious. And I've always believed that scientific thing where, like, energy and matter can't be created or destroyed. I'm tight. That means I'm straight. That means I was here before, and I'll be here again.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what I was doing before and how I got in my mom's vagina. I know I'm not trying to get back. What? It could be weird. It could be a weird situation when you're picking who you want to be. I don't know.
And well, I too am happy that you're not fighting to get back there, John.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's nice.
I'm not the only guy. Don't worry, my mom don't listen to the same thing. You know, that's another good thing about doing a podcast is you can insult your friends and family because none of those motherfuckers are going to listen to it. You can vent a little bit. You can be like, God damn, Kathy, you're always fucking lying. You never tell the truth, Kathy, or listen to my fucking podcast. And if you do, you can call me and yell at me for this. But Sister Kathy, you're always a lying.
Well, that was the thing with doing comedy. I've been doing stand-up for almost 5 years, and I've had one family member come to my shows once.
Oh my God, Dave, I'm going to tell you funny shit right now.
What's up?
I got this little job during the summer that I kind of regretted taking after I took it. I mean, it's a long story. I'm not going to get into that part. But I took this job with some people remodeling their house. So I'm remodeling their house, and it's a lot of one-on-one with the homeowner. So it comes up that I do comedy. I mention it. And they say, oh, maybe we'll come to one of your shows. And I think, that'd be cool. You know, I could use fans. But they're kind of they're kind of nice older people. So I'm like, I don't know if they're the best kind of fans, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I'm working there for a few weeks, and I bust my thumb a few times and drop a few F-bombs, and they're not, repelled by it. So I think, all right, they're not too bad. So I tell them, look, I'm going to have a show at the Parlor on the 12th. Yeah. They were having a nice show there. So I said, hey, come on out to the Parlor. Well, for me, and this is a mistake I need to quit making, I treat the shows that are, put together by a producer guy or whatever happens to be, those kind of shows versus the open mic. I treat them all the same. I don't even think about it because I'm not, smart enough yet. I'm just learning shit.
Yeah.
So I'm just, working material at the Parlor. It's new shit. It went over well with most of the audience, but they came. The homeowners came. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure you haven't heard me do these jokes yet, but I was making jokes about how, if you die and go to heaven, if you're old, you're made young again. If you get blown off leg in the military, you get your leg back and all that. So I was making jokes about that, and then the joke premise goes, well, what's kind of mean when a retarded guy gets to heaven and he's not retarded anymore, he's going to have to fake like he's retarded to get you to know who the fuck he is. He's going to be like, oh, remember me? I used to talk like this or whatever. So I'm doing those jokes, and it's killing. It's doing great. The whole place is laughing.
Yeah. But
those three people, the homeowner and whoever they brought with them, are just kind of somber. For the beginning of my act, before I got into the heaven and the retard stuff, they were pretty fun.
They were enjoying it.
They were enjoying it. Then I got into that, they were no longer enjoying it. Well, a couple days go, and I go back to work, and a little tense, but they seem nice still, and they're like, hey, the show was good, and they're very cordial. Well, after another week or so, because I ended up working there another couple of weeks, so I worked about a month altogether. It comes out, I'm talking to the dad, and this is kind of a tragic piece. They had a baby that was born that was normal till it hit about 8, and then it was missing a chromosome or something, and then it started going backwards and just getting old and retarded, and, its brain quit working and all kinds of weird shit. Its organs started shutting down. So basically, to make a long story short, without me getting too fucking medical, they had a retarded kid that's in heaven waiting for him because they're religious. So I basically just made jokes, and I'm like, well, it didn't even know it. It was totally, I'm like, oh, so it's a good lesson. Maybe it's best that family and friends accidentally come to the show. Maybe they shouldn't fucking come all the time. Isn't that crazy?
I really do think you should make that the end of that bit.
That could be
that, because he did that bit. I mean, it's a good bit.
That's a good idea.
That's a good way to bring that bit back
to itself.
Light.
It is. Yeah. I like that. I might do that too, because people will laugh about those two, because that shit was funny.
Yeah.
It is crazy to me how much shit is funny that's real, because those jokes I was making about my two friends that I told them we were doing the fundraiser for the lesbians and gays, and they freaked out.
Yeah.
All them jokes are real.
Yeah,
because those people really freaked out when I told them, it's a big deal that I'm raising money for some gay people.
Yeah. The joke about being beat as a kid. I mean, that's all very real. All the stuff. I mean, it's good for every joke. In my opinion, it's good for every joke to have some realism in it.
I'm mad at your dad. Not that he hit you when you were a kid till you were 21. It's that he was a bad blackjack dealer, because he should have stopped at 17.
I know, that's smart.
Smart. He should have held at 17, Dave.
But But no, yeah, I think there's truth in everybody's
But it's
joke.
healing. It's healing
It's
to
healing,
talk
yeah.
about it. See, I had the same kind of dad, very abusive dad, very abusive dad, and it helps to talk about it. It's nice to talk about it. It's
Yeah.
not like I don't love him, but it helps to talk about that
Yeah.
shit. It gets it out there. It's not like it's bad anymore. Now it's funny.
Yeah.
It's a lot better.
I think it takes a lot of people, like a lot of time to understand that a lot of people aren't necessarily used to bringing that stuff out in the public, let alone bringing that stuff out in the public and joking about it. So when they hear somebody or see somebody who's gone through something tragic like that and he's trying to laugh about it in front of strangers, it's a little off-putting, but
It is for a minute, but
yeah.
you do it well,
Oh.
and it comes off good.
Thanks.
Like so when I first went to my first comedy show, you were doing some jokes. I can't remember what they were, but they were similar to that. But they were something totally different because it was a while. Because I went to a show, and then it was like a year later I came and did comedy with you guys. So I went to a show at the train track place over by the train by the library, but I forgot what I was going with that. But anyhow, doing the personal shit, it's a good idea. It's like it's the funniest shit. It's the best shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this show. Like I was telling you before the show, I used to be scared to talk about prison because I felt like people would be put off by it. Exactly. You know,
Right.
and it's like I shouldn't feel like that. It's my fucking life.
Right.
It's what I lived. I should be half proud of it. And like this is something I don't bring up to people because I didn't used to bring it up in prison, but I don't bring up that I didn't do it. It's like I don't want to tell people that I didn't rob a fucking store and went to prison for. It almost makes me look like a bigger asshole. You see what I mean? It'd almost be better if I had robbed a place to me, because at least then I can be like, yeah, I used to be a cool motherfucker that robbed places. But instead, I'm just like a stupid poor white kid that got caught up in some bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, you got caught up in some bullshit, and like, I guess from my point of view, a lot of people who get caught up in bullshit do one of two things: is they turn into shitty people who fight it and until like they're blue in the face, or they lash out and just anger and fight it in a whole different way. But where you took it with stride and with grace.
Oh, I rolled with it. I rolled with it. It took me just a second, but when I got to prison, it was like, you know what? I'm going to live in this motherfucker. I'm just going to live here.
Yeah.
And I lived there, and I was not upset when I was in prison. Now, to be honest, I did plan on getting out and shooting a couple people that lied.
Right.
Because I was lied on. You know, a person actually sat in a fucking jury stand and said, that guy robbed a store and I was with him, and he was lying. We weren't together. Like, we were together, but he didn't rob the store and I didn't rob the store. None of us robbed the store. But this motherfucker lied, and he told, like I say, he told on me, but he told a lie. What happened is they started investigating 3 of us, and one of them, after like 2 months of them harassing us, one of us, Tim was his name, said, okay, fuck it, they did it. And they said, okay, we're going to give you immunity, you're going to testify against them, all that shit. We couldn't believe it. All of a sudden, we're fucking getting arrested for this shit. Like, while they were investigating this, all of us were laughing about it because we're thinking, we didn't rob a fucking store. This is retarded. Someone called Crime Stoppers and told them this, you know, because we were 3 stupid kids. That's why they just did it, because we're dumbasses in the hood. They knew we're dumbasses.
Yeah.
Well, then all of a sudden, this motherfucker tells. Well, tells in quotation marks. My people can't see air quotes, but he fucking lies and tells them this shit. So now they have some evidence to work with, and keep a long story short, they end up fucking arresting me for this crap. You see what I'm saying? But I'm sitting in prison. I can't believe that I'm in there for something I didn't do. But at the same time, what the fuck am I gonna do about it? You know?
Yeah.
But you know what's even crazier? Is I called the other guy. His name is Jeremy, good friend of mine. I called him up when I'm already in prison. I've already been found guilty by a jury of my fucking peers, as they say. I've been sentenced to 11 to 20, even though the plea bargain they offered me was for 1 year. They offered me a 1-year plea bargain. I said, I'm not taking plea bargain. I'm trying to go to college and shit. I didn't rob the store. So I didn't take the plea bargain. They gave me 11 to 20. Jeez. Tell me you have a right to a free trial. There's nothing free about that.
But I think, I mean, it goes back to your testament, and I'll go back to the audience who listens to you. I mean, they can tell that you handled it with poise and grace. And
why? I thank you for that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's another thing. It's like what I was saying with you in the military. Like, you can't not bring that up. You're not looking for people to thank you, but you deserve thanks once in a while for being willing to put up with some bullshit, because you basically signed up for prison. You signed up for prison. You signed up for, I mean, it's the exact same thing.
In a way,
You are someone else's property. You were someone else's property when you were in there, weren't you?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you were told when to shower. You were told how and when to shave. I'm sure you were told all that shit to some degree.
Where to be. weed.
Yep.
All that
I mean, you got a
nonsense.
furlough day here and there, but you know, I used to smuggle weed in my ass, you know. So I mean, we both had our little bit of fun once in a while. So it's like, you know, one time I actually got stopped on the yard. A good place to keep your weed was in your mouth.
Okay.
You just put like a little plastic, hide it in your
Yeah.
cheek. I got stopped and shook down on the yard one time with a mouthful of weed. Very proud of myself.
Wow.
I pulled off the silent shakedown. Normally there's some interaction, especially the cops get used to my mouthy
Yeah,
ass.
yeah, yeah.
All of a sudden I'm stone cold quiet when they're shaking me down, but I did the did the like I was clearing my throat and I
Yeah.
didn't feel good. And the cop did the I shouldn't have picked you to shake
Yeah,
down.
yeah, you're
I knew
gross.
all kinds of things to get away with. I was
Wow.
a master. I do jokes about it, but I was a master at not getting shook down in there. I would act like I was sick. And I could tell people would be like, "Oh shit, this guy's got something wrong with him. I want to touch his ass." So
Yeah.
that would like avoid the pat down. And then the strip search, the way I used to avoid that a lot, is I'd take my pants off first. I'm not even making it up. I wouldn't take my fucking shoes off or nothing. I would
You
fucking.
just go right for the pants.
Yep, I would. And you have you ever tried to take your pants off over top of your shoes?
Yeah, it's awful.
It's hard. It
Yeah.
takes forever, and
Yeah.
you're dancing around and shit swinging
Yeah.
around, and it's not a nice sight.
Oh my goodness.
So I would do that, and then the guard would stand in there watching me, like, "What the fuck is wrong with this dude?" You know. And then the next time he'd be in the little private booth to strip search me, he would just give me a pat down and like, "Hey, wait 2 minutes. All right, now go on out," because someone is watching and it's supposed to take a certain amount of time.
Yeah, yeah.
Like guards in there are slick like that. Like they are
Interesting.
they're in charge of watching each other. When one shift leaves, the incoming shift gets shook down by the shift that's leaving. So the guards that are leaving, these guys are all friends too that drink beers at the
Yeah.
Rusty Nail together. But the fucking let's just say 10, the 10 guards that are leaving have 10 guards that are coming in, and they fucking just shake them down as they come in. So they got the 10 lined up, the 10 coming in, and it's like the fox in charge of the hen house type thing. It's like
Interesting.
they all just search each other. It's weird.
That is a weird policing in a way. Yeah,
yeah,
that is really bizarre.
Self-policing.
Yeah.
But what else are you gonna do? I mean, have the inmates check them? I don't know what you'd do, but
yeah, that's crazy.
it is a weird thing. Prison's a weird fucking place. That's when I used to go in there, because in school I used to be big into like anthropology and studying like people and cultures and how people's minds work and how people think.
Yeah.
I've always been that's always fascinated me, is what drives people. So going into prison was like a pretty unique experience for me to be able to like really
You see what all these different cultures are like.
yeah, and to see a culture,
Oh,
a new
oh,
culture. Oh
good
yeah,
call.
like it's like a tribe. It's a weird place. It becomes a whole new. It's a whole ecosystem. It's different.
Gosh, I could imagine.
But you know, one thing I'll give myself a little pat on the back here is Little John was kind of a fucking bright light in there. I was, because I wasn't in a bad mood like a lot of people, and I did like I do now. Where like I was killing it. Like I'd take the day room over. Like, have you ever watched Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Yeah.
Let some shit be on TV
Right.
and let me be in there. Like, you're not going to get to watch most of this motherfucking show because I'm going to be talking about every little... Like, I'm like a nigger at the movies, you know what I'm saying? Oops, I'll edit that out. No, I won't. But you know what I'm saying? I just blurt out shit once in a while. But that's why they love me in there. Like, even black people love me in there. They would give me the N-word pass. Say N-word now, but see, and then that's the fucked up thing. They give it to you for a couple years, and all of a sudden you're not around the safe ones. So it's not a safe thing to say. But you see what I mean? I grew up in a spot where I grew up, like it's weird, but in prison you don't hang out with many white people unless you're a pedophile, because that's what the white people in prison are in there for.
Interesting.
It's fucking sad.
Well, it goes back to when we were talking about that sense of community that you had from when you were in prison versus what I had when I was in the service. You're in the thick of just some shit with people. You get this weird brotherhood in a way. You can depend on people. People can depend on you. This, that, and the other. And then when you're out of those situations, it's almost it's oddly lonely. I mean, you have
Isn't it?
You
People won't even respond to your text half the time, and you know they read it.
Yeah, and you have a world full of potential people that you met, or all these people who are having a 9-to-5 job, but at the end of the day, like, you're just like, nobody really understands like what is going on, and it sucks.
And another thing in the military, and I'm sure in prison, is you had big chunks of the day where you guys were just like all together with not a lot to do, because your teamwork would make it to where the work was done.
Yeah.
You guys would pitch in, the tent was set, dinner was cooked, Now what do? We sit around and wait for the enemy, or just sit around and chill?
Yeah.
So you had a lot of free time, like hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
That's a big phrase in the military, isn't it?
Hurry up
and wait. So I mean, you got all this free time, but you don't. It's not a horrible thing because you're surrounded by people that you enjoy their company and you enjoy each other's company, and you're being forced to find something that's great. But then you come to this free world, and nobody wants to do it. And it's weird to me that nobody wants to hang out in a communal, fun style like that. It's hard to find a group of friends that really just wants to chill.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, it's really hard to find it.
One of the actually it's one of the things that I'm trying to work better on is just talking to strangers in a way, just because I don't know, it freaks me out. But I remember just in the service when I would see some guy I never met before, but if he was in uniform, he wasn't a stranger at that point. So like, I could know nothing about him except that we have the same articles of clothing, and it was just
that one common thread. All of a sudden, you have something. It's the same with convict, and it's the same with prisoners. Just that one little bit of common thread, and it's enough of an ice break where you feel camaraderie, you feel a part of it. Where and that's it's like PTSD and shit like that. So that's another thing I talk about on the show, and that's something that people in the military and people in prison, and just people in general. A lot of people deal with that shit. You get traumatized, and it fucks with you later. And one of the biggest symptoms of it is isolating yourself. It's trying to get away from everyone, and that's the wrong fucking thing, because like you were just saying, that common thread, that little bit of thread, we all really got that with everyone in the whole fucking world. You don't have to wear a uniform to have it or any of that shit, but we have it, and we don't fucking use it, and it's a sad thing to me. And I think one of the biggest things that holds it back, where people coming out of the military or people coming out of prison, where they could bring this word of like, hey, we don't all got to go to some shitty job all day. We could like help each other out. We could get shit done together, and we wouldn't all have to just be isolated at some job we hate, making barely enough money to get by. I mean, I'm almost talking like communist shit in a way, but you see what I'm saying? Like, communal living is some happy fucking living. Did you know the Indians didn't really believe in possessions? Like, the Native Americans didn't believe in owning shit. Yeah. And there was a wise fucking dude that came over and was like, that's why they're so fucking happy, but it's also why we're going to take their shit over. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's a great thing, but there's just so much evil in the world that it's hard to find that Taoist balance, that yin-yang balance. Uh-oh, the pizza's here. All right, I'm going to feed my special guest, Dave. I think we're going to get off here. We did a pretty good show. I'm sorry that we had a little brief interruption there, audience, but we're back on. We're back on now, and now we're going to take off and have some pizza.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Thanks for having. I'm gonna have you back, Dave, for sure.
Oh,
There's
sweet.
no fucking way I'm not gonna have you back for sure.
I'm excited.
But this is Man Sharpens Man. Peace, pot, and microdot.